mistake. Not the victim to her ever-changing fate. My life is bloody, folded to her arms again. I consider ways to make her pay. So tonight, these days take care of.
What is up, everyone? It is Sunday noonish again, and we're back with Bangin Beers.
Yeah.
And today is going to remind you of long days of waking up on your bedroom floor wondering, what did I do last night? We are featuring some ice fucking beers today.
Yeah, so we're gonna cover some ice beers, but also why these beers exist, a little bit of history of these beers. So we're hopefully you can learn something at home, and I'm gonna learn something. I know that. But we are also joined by Last Beer, a very, very cool guy. Got to meet him through the Craft Beers Pour group. And there's also a Facebook page. I probably should have put that in there. I will update that when we leave to reflect their page so people can go follow them. But very, very instrumental in a lot of people coming and watching our content because you've been sharing us and showing us a lot of love. So we want you to join the table and hang out with us here on a Sunday.
Cheers, fellas. Thanks for having me, guys. This is awesome.
So people can see in the background, there's tons of Philadelphia stuff there, but you're no longer you're a former Philly resident or former PA guy, but now you're in Virginia.
Yeah, I'm in the Northern Virginia area, kind of split between Richmond and DC, kind of.
Okay, nice.
He's right where I want to be as a Washington fan. We should switch places one day.
Go Birds.
But I want to say thank you real quick to our Patreon people. So we have $1 to $25. I want to anyone who is on the list that's a part of the network. No, real loud. These mics pick stuff up. You don't know you're right on top.
It's fun. It's just more fun that way.
It's not fun for people that listening with earbuds.
That's their fault.
Yeah. So $1 to $25. Anyone who donates anything from now, dollar or anything from now till February gets running for the
End of
Colster.
February.
Yeah, end of February. Colster. Anyone over $10 gets the running for a free T-shirt. We want to thank Ryan Vox, David S, Brett Squared, Bridget M, Andrew H, Greg Grease, Heidi, Ryan Glotto from Fueled by Haas Podcast, Kelly from Crystal Mountain Healing, Tommy B, Tree of Life Metaphysical Shop, Brad Z, Higher Than Other Words Podcast, and Jay Horror. So thank you all so much for the Patreon support. It helps us pay the bills, helps us get some new stuff. We're up to 2 mute switches, gentlemen.
Hell yeah.
2.
I'll have the other one soon, I promise.
Yeah, no, there's no rush.
Within the week.
So you guys are helping us make it so we can cough and do cool things in the show, like eat chicken wings if we ever, because we want to do an episode where we do like hot food, and we just don't want to chew on the mic. We don't want to turn it into an ASMR because some people are very triggered by that and they'll turn the podcast right off. I've known for,
or maybe they'll be really into it.
yeah, get weird boners or chicken wing boners. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. How did you get into the beer scene and the content creating scene and making a YouTube page?
So I've been kind of in the craft beer scene probably since 2014-ish. Drank a lot of PBR and all that kind of stuff before I got into it, but I just kind of went to a grocery store and picked up a craft beer. I think it was Prohibition was the first one I had. A Prohibition ale was forgot the brewery. But yeah, ever since then, I just started trying new stuff, and because all my friends would drink, Bud Light and all that kind of stuff, and I'd go over to their house and I thought I was top dollar when I was bringing Stella and all that stuff, Hogard and stuff. I was like, oh, you got the fancy beer,
Remember those days?
Yeah, Magic Hat and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just kind of randomly picked up something and just started going with it, and
it's funny mentioning like, hey, I was the guy bringing the Stella and stuff to the party back when like Guinness was like hey, I got a case of Guinness tonight, guys. And they're like, oh, fucking highballer.
Yeah. Oh, it's so expensive. And now if we spend that much on a 4-pack.
Yeah. And then after that, I just kind of, I think when I started my Instagram page, it wasn't really like a beer related, just kind of random stuff. And then I started going to breweries and stuff, and then I just started posting about the beers I was drinking, and actually through Instagram I started finding different beers and stuff, the people I followed or whatever, they were drinking this and that, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try that kind of style, and just kind of skyrocketed from there. And last year I started my YouTube channel, which I haven't had too much content on there yet, but craft beer pours and all those guys. I started watching those kind of people on YouTube for a while, and just kind of lurking in the chat here and there. And I came up on panel one time, and ever since then I just started meeting the whole community, everyone.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get more people into trying to get them from that lurker stage to like come interact with this stage. And it's not an easy thing to do, but you got to kind of let people just go at their own pace.
Yeah, that's how I was. I mean, I just YouTube beer on YouTube and saw all these beer pages and stuff, and I would tune into their shows and stuff like that and be in the comments and stuff, and then they would throw out the StreamYard link kind of thing to whoever wants to come up on panel if you got this style of beer or want to talk about this kind of thing. And one day I just was like, you know what, I'm going to go on there. And then ever since then, I just
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun joining those panels. I've luckily enough to stumble across them a few times. But Jack in the chat, Jack, I think our UK boy. The Oi Oi?
I believe it is. Oi,
yeah,
Oi.
Yeah, I missed that guy.
What's
and
up,
then
lad?
We got Kyle saying cheers,
Kyle?
y'all.
Cheers, yeah, that's one of our guys in our little community too, Kyle.
Nice.
Bumpy Road Brewing.
Yep.
And
Bumpy
then
Road. He does a few. Well, he does some shows. He used to do after dark beers on Sundays, which was like bring a dark beer. But
you guys would love that.
Mm-hmm.
Now he does a new brew every Monday on his channel at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time, where you just bring a new beer that you haven't tried before, and you just talk about the beer and all that kind of stuff. And go
See, these are the communities that I was telling you guys about, where you just get your webcam set up at your house, and then it's like a virtual chat room. You just join someone's thing and you hang out with people. It's a really cool time. I did it a couple times, and we went from like 12 subscribers to 40 some. The people are super supportive. So if you are in the chat and you didn't know about a lot of these people, hit subscribe on their YouTube channel. You guys have all helped us out tremendously, and we're very, very thankful.
Yeah, if you guys want to give us like times, like post in the chat or send us a message just what times like these different events are, we'll share them up too and start trying to join in on them.
Yeah, if you go to our link tree in the bottom, there is on the very it's towards the bottom. I should probably move it up a little bit, but is our Facebook fan page or community. Share your content in there and let us hey, we're live now, and then people from Facebook can jump over to YouTube and hang out and join your chat, and we can join and hang out with you guys. But seriously, our growth has been insane, and we want to thank all of you, especially you, Last Beer, man. You've been really putting us out there and helping us out, and I've always said I think we have a decent thing we got going on here. I think our quality is good. We just got eyes and ears on us, and you guys have been super supportive, so it's been amazing.
Yeah, the craft beer community is, it's fantastic. Everyone's pretty welcoming in there, and everyone gets along, and you just talk about beer. That's what I love about the craft beer community. Just and you try different styles. Stuff you wouldn't probably really try. You see people drinking it, and you're kind of like, oh, that seems interesting. Let me give this type of style a try, and then you might end up liking it. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of trying a style, let's get the first can cracked here.
This episode is going to reek of regret.
Almost immediately.
So we are going back to the 90s. And like I said, this is going to remind us of waking up on your floor with a pounding headache after whatever party, or possibly dying in the woods the night before and realizing maybe I should rethink what I do in my life. I'm
curious of what other people, so if you're in your chat, we're not condoning this at all or advocating it, but a lot of people have every youth group, or when you're drinking or getting into your early stages of drinking before you technically can go to a bar, and maybe it wasn't a big thing in your area, I'm curious to know, but in our area, we had bush parties where somebody would take like a tire or a box or some pallets, and they would drag them miles into the woods, make a fire, and everyone brought cases of beer, which is normally ice beer because it was the cheapest one you can put your money together for. And you sat in the woods and drank all night long.
We had a hobo from Port Carbon that we went by the name of Jupe that would buy us beer. As long as we got him a case, he would hook us up.
So if what was your experience, and what was that was our introduction mostly to this area of drinking, because I mean, once again, don't condone it, but I'm just telling you our story.
But we all do it. I mean,
I've honestly don't think I've ever had an ice beer in my entire life. Really? Somehow, yeah.
Even in the garage, I know there's been Beast Ice and stuff at the garage.
I had a Beast Ice.
There has, but I always avoided it because there were other options. I was like,
Oh man, Natty Ice, Beast Ice, They were usually the go-to cheapies back in my day. Well, I mean, one thing luckily of underage drinking in Schuylkill County is there's decent beer usually, because like premium lager was usually what it was.
Yeah, because we used to always have lager there too, so I would just grab one of those. I'd be like,
All right, well, enough's enough. I'm cracking this Bud Ice, and Bob's got we're gonna read a description today about it.
Let's right up on Untapped on Bud Ice.
So Bud Ice, ice or
Doesn't
free
smell bad.
distilled beer from Anheuser-Busch. This comes in at 5.5% ABV and is listed at 15 IBUs. Bud Ice has been checked in approximately 17,800 times, where it averages a 2.05. I have 30 friend check-ins where it averages a 1.90. And although I have had it in the distant past, this will be the first time I've.
This is my first check-in too.
It's gonna be a long time.
So the write-up goes: Bud Ice uses Anheuser-Busch's exclusive ice brewing process that takes the beer to a temperature below freezing, which leads to the formation of ice crystals in the finishing process that give Bud Ice its rich, smooth taste. Bud Ice is America's first draft beer to be ice brewed. And the flavor profile is listed as light, smooth, strong, sweet, and warm.
All right.
And warm.
and warm.
You know what's funny though? At
Ice,
5.5%,
Bud
this
Ice.
used to be like, wow, we're getting the big boys today. Now it's like, oh, I'm drinking this 13% Imperial Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout.
Well, it's like Bob said pre-show. He said he figured we would just do the small, like one of each of the small cans. He's like, but like we normally do 9%ers and no one bats an eye, but just because it's an ice beer, we're
holding up.
I think that's more to save us from the headache. All right, so
we do have some other show beers. If you notice, we're cracking one straight out of the can here. So we are drinking in between. We're drinking some Chetties.
praise the Lord.
So we got some Lord here on a Sunday. We have Strawberry Villa, which is from Full Circle Brewing Company. It's a milkshake IPA. And then we have from Rusty Rail, which we'll talk about a little later, the Puka. So this is actually a cryptid beer. So if you're into like the cryptid stuff, go check out Truth Behind Illusion. If you if on our YouTube page, if you scroll to the very bottom, there's 5 other podcasts that I personally do, and some other guys join in and hang out. There's a wrestling one, a pop culture one, a cryptid and conspiracy ghost one, and then an interview show. So if you guys want to check out those shows as well on our network, that would be super cool.
All right, so when was the last time you had a shitty beer, my friend?
I think I've had a bunch of these one night with Randy and Steve, and I don't think it ended well. I think what happened was these were like $1 something.
Oh, that was like $1.
Yeah, it was like $1.
So might have been $1.30.
We bought like 40 of them, and Steve has this giant like thing you would get at like the wing places where it's like a giant gasoline thing, and you pour it in, and it it's like you pour beer in, it taps it out like you would get at like Quaker Steak and Lube. And
the beer tower.
So we poured all of the natural ices, the Bud Ices or whatever they were, natural ices into them. And I remember I poured one glass because it was like poured into something and then tapped again. So it was already just bad news. And I remember taking one pint. I'm like, I'm going home. I can't. I already know where this is going, and I'm leaving now.
Last beer. What's the last shitty beer you had?
Oh man. Well, I don't know. Well, it'd be more of a malt beverage. I think the last shitty beer was like a Four Loko or juice, one of those type of things.
Oh man.
I drank
not a good time.
4 of them. I drank 4 Locos on a Saturday one time.
Was it the original formula?
Yeah, it was the red can.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was not, I don't remember much of the day, but yeah.
That is a requested episode. They want us to do 4 Locos.
It's not the same though anymore.
No, they don't have the caffeine in it.
Yeah. We'll just have to I don't know. We'll find something.
And people were dying
halfway to the Cornholio stage.
Yeah.
Bumpy Road says we had house parties when someone's parents were out of town, where someone had an older sibling that had their own pad. There's
a few of those rarities around here too.
The only problem where we live in small little coal region town, where if they see a bunch of kids going in and there's a bit of noise, they immediately call the cops and it's over. And then kids are running out back doors and windows.
So, you know, like in my day when that happened, if they managed to catch us all, they'd take your beer and literally like you didn't. There was none of this like you're branded as a criminal for life and you can't get a
crazy fine. You lose your.
I mean, because like you said, that they're all small towns.
Yeah.
Chances are the cop knows your parents, your grand, and they would literally drop you off at your house, and then they would keep all your beer and have a kegger when they got off shift.
Yeah.
which is how it should be.
Brett said, I repeatedly had Beast Ice drinks, made comments on how disgusting all the craft beer sounds. It's hilarious. So Visco, Brett Squared here, he's a complete turnaround. This was his go-to, and then he switched over to craft.
Honestly, this isn't terrible.
I do like PBR.
It's better than I expected. Yeah.
We have a PBR inspired logo on our merch page. We haven't flagged for it yet.
Honestly, PBR is still one of my go-tos when we have need something just cheap grab for band practice or something. I don't want to house a bunch of 10%ers, so I grab a 6-pack of pounders and go to band practice.
All right, so what do we think of this?
It's not awful.
I wouldn't call it spectacular or great or fantastic, but it's okay. It's not bad. It's average.
Is it super light bodied, almost
there's
no
taste?
It's really light bodied, and I get a little bit of maltiness and maybe a touch of caramel on the backside. But it's
I get notes of drywall.
It's never going to be on my metal stand.
I have a highlight that I can read out from one of my friends from Untap. So Trevor, his name is, he said, this could work if they added hops and yeast and barley. And he gave it a 1.25.
Well, I rated it a little better than that, but yeah, again, I don't know if I'd go out of my way to drink it, but if someone handed me one, I would probably drink it again. It's not spectacular, but average. It's okay.
So some people just like to watch the world burn, and I'm one of those people. So if you are on Untapped, I'm giving these ridiculous scores because I want to boost them up in their ratings. So 4.75 for me, boys.
I think I have High Life and PBR on 5s at Untapped.
This literally tastes like you're drinking water. There's no, it doesn't taste terrible.
No,
if that was $1 a can at 5%. It's not a bad deal.
It's not a bad deal if you're on a mission.
Yeah.
If you're
trying to get arrested, go for it. Yeah. This is your how to get a criminal record lineup. This is
drown your sorrows.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drinking today, my friend?
I am drinking the 2022 edition of Hop Slam.
Oh, nice.
The exact opposite of what we're having.
Something good he got. Yeah.
Dude, Hop Slam is so good.
That's Bell's, right?
Man,
Yes.
I buy it every year, man. And I think this is the first year they're doing the 16-ounce 4-packs.
Oh, nice.
They had
Hop
both
Slam.
options.
Hop Slam is such a good beer.
And it was canned January 13th, 2022. So it's still pretty
This was
fresh.
canned 3 years ago.
Canned in 1989.
It doesn't say.
Kyle says, I like ice beers because they're cheap. While you can get drunk off them, it's easy to drink them all day and still maintain. I totally agree, man. I totally agree.
It's not so much the taste. It's more so what happens to you the next day after having too many.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get the next one cracked. We don't have to dive into it, but let's go a little bit into the factoids of what makes this beer. We'll kind of break it up as the episode goes.
Go into the history.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, round 1 of the shitty beer shootout.
Next one we're pouring here is natural ice.
So, and feel free to chime in whenever you want to with your part of this too, Bill. But ice beer is actually a legitimate beer style. Some people do call it freeze distilled beer. And this was created on accident in 1890 in Germany.
Oh.
It started out as the original ice beer was an Eisbock. And at a brewery in 1890 that is now part of the Kulmbacher Empire. It's the 1890s. Electricity's fairly new if you have it at all. It was in the winter, and the brewmaster asked one of the brewery workers to move a keg that was too close to an uninsulated wall farther into the building. And this employee did not do that. When the brewmaster came to work the next morning, the keg was partially frozen, and some of the staves had broke with ice shooting through. And of course, he was pretty bent out of shape about it. And but he inspected the keg closer, and he noticed that in some of the ice that was outside of the keg, there was actually a darker liquid in there. So he instead of chastising it right away, he went back to his office and he broke it open and tasted it and thought it was fantastic. And that
guy's a savage.
That's basically how ice beer started. And And in the beginning, that is actually what they would do. They would intentionally leave wooden kegs outdoors overnight in the winter. Of course, they've refined that process somewhat. And when you do it the normal way, it results in a product that ends up with somewhere between 12 and 15% ABV. When it became a thing in the United States, in I believe it was 1989.
Yeah, 89.
It's a brewery that doesn't exist anymore in Canada called
Niagara
Niagara Falls. They started it in 1994, or I'm sorry, in 1989, and they made it an annual release. The brewery got bought out, and the new owner stopped doing that. The year before they went under, it was Molson came out, and they had the first big brew in the United States, and then the next year Labatt's did theirs. And one of the other things to backstep a little bit, they do follow the normal process that results in a 12 to 15% beer, but here in North America, they actually re-add water back to lower the ABV again, which I could see their point in the 90s. Where the average beer was 3 to 4%, and you unleash a 12% monster. Yeah.
So I think for the longest time too, wasn't there some kind of like
there were laws on the books that restricted. Yeah. So there was a purpose behind it.
So now that there's like the Wild West again with craft beers, I mean, what craft beer is going to take a chance to do an ice beer and make it a 15%er?
But one of the other things too is when you do that, and so what they do when they do this is they obviously they intentionally let ice form in there, and so you need to go to minus 173 degrees Fahrenheit. I believe that came out to minus 114 for anyone who's in Celsius land out there.
Like everyone but us.
For ethanol to freeze. So they just had to make it cold enough for the water to freeze out, and then they would physically remove the ice.
Yeah.
And what's left over not only has more alcohol, but when it's done properly, it changes the flavor. It makes it richer. It even changes the way it smells. And the original, like, we'll have to get an ice box in here for real.
We should find like an actual ice, like a good ice beer.
And, so essentially, we're drinking the because these are only 5.5, 5.6.
So they actually
these are the watered down versions of what they actually should be.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'd love to try the full strength. I wonder where it exists.
It would have been fun to find one and have that at the end. All right, all of these are ice beers.
Yeah, this is legit ice beer.
This is a legitimate ice beer.
It's going to make you
blind.
Or
we can just make our own ice beer next winter.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, man.
32%.
So Labatt's and Molson debate over which one of them is the original ice beer maker in North America, but it's already proven that neither of them are. Labatt's actually has several patents for the process. I know of at least 3 in my research where they have patents regarding the process to make ice beer. Miller got the distribution rights to Molson in the United States, and so they had the first ice beer here in the States. That was
Ice House, I think.
Yes, Ice House.
We have one of those.
And then Anheuser-Busch didn't wait too long to jump on the bandwagon, and they started Bud Ice. And Bud Ice is actually the best-selling ice beer in America. When Coors jumped on the bandwagon, there's this Keystone Ice,
which I think is RIP now.
Oh, and actually, I misspoke. Bud Ice is not number 1. It's Natural Ice.
That's the one we're going.
Thanks, college kids.
And this is how they maintain their popularity. It's a cheap drink for college campuses, and several of the sources I looked up quoted that's their biggest sources, that these are college town beers because of their affordability. But the thing that stupefies me about that is these guys have, million-gallon tanks and stuff, and there's already a defined process in place to make beer. And there's at least 2 steps in this that alter from that. So especially when you brew it more at a time, you would think that would increase costs, because now you've got to put this all in a separate container to freeze it. You have to do whatever to take the ice out, and then you have to do additional quality tests on that, and then when you're done with that, you have to go back and you have to add water in, and you need to monitor that process.
I don't think
And
they're doing that. I've called shenanigans.
Or they just take regular Bud or regular Natty and
You take the bottom of the tank, freeze it, the thaw it, and then send it to you.
So, and there are several communities in the United States and possibly Canada as well, where this is they regard this as the term they used was street drunk beer. The only municipality that I could find specifically named was Seattle.
Yeah.
And what they do there
let's touch back on Seattle in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Let's break it up there. I do like that. That was awesome. Hopefully
we need to get like the knowing's half the battle like sound clip for these things.
That's honest. This is the angle I want to go with the show. I kind of like the beer history. This is going to be something we're going to do more in the future. We're going to do like a style of beer. Like we'll get a bunch of lagers, a bunch of stouts, a bunch of pilsners, and we're going to like pick our favorites, but then talk about what makes this beer something. Because I think we're not beer snobs, and we're like, I mean, I'm probably the least educated in beer than all of you. So I think it's cool that we're like learning stuff, and hopefully our listeners can as well. And I think it's a cool little process. Let us know what you guys think.
This isn't the true shitty beer shootout. We'll actually gonna be doing one, but this is.
We have a brown bag shootout.
I don't know if you want to jump yourself.
Let's see what we got in the chat here.
Well, this is kind of a mix of a shitty beer shootout and beer history. So.
So this is the number one ice beer in the country. Right? Natural ice. Brett Squared said Keystone is dead. I can confirm.
Yep.
That was 100%. Mickey's hand grenades.
Mickey's
ice.
No, Mickey's
ice is dead.
Is dead.
But not regular
Mickey. Soccer.
Yeah. Drank some Jack Daniels and some Jack Daniels and some Jack Daniel mix drinks last night. Did not maintain very well. That'll always get you. Jack will always creep up on you. When I score, I keep style in mind. It's purposely supposed to taste like nothing, and they nailed it. They nailed the nothingness. I like that. Yeah, we're the same way. We try to score it based on what's supposed to be happening here.
Yeah, like we were talking. If you listen back to our North Country episode last week, we were talking about how people will score because it came up like you jag off the light lager that they put out, and I saw one person on my Untapped had it scored it like a 2, but he's a haze bro.
Yeah,
and I'm like, dude, like it's really good. Like if you don't like those types of beers, don't even fucking score
it. Yeah. He said he meant to say Jack and Jameson, which is a horrible tag team to go against in a handicap match. You'll always lose that one. Here's your wrestling reference.
I would take the Jameson over the Jack.
I'd go Jameson over Jack too.
Yeah.
So do you have any recollection or anything from some ice beers?
Oh man, it's been so long, man. I just remember. I think I've had the Natty Ice Keystone, Bud Ice, but yeah, I just remember waking up feeling awful the next day.
Oh yeah.
They're cheap, like and they get the job done for sure. Especially when you get those big tall boys like that. $1 something.
The worst though, and then the worst is like when you go and like you add something to that mix. Like I remember, I want to say we were like 18 or 19, but
liquor always comes in the party when you're drinking these.
Yeah, so I remember we were playing pool in a buddy's basement, and we were all like 12 beast ice deep. And then my buddy pulls out a handle of like fucking Vladimir.
I'll do it every time.
God,
and then
Vladimir. I've had experiences with Vladimir.
And then I don't remember the rest of that evening, and I was hungover for like 2.5 days when like 19. So I'm pretty sure I had alcohol poisoning.
Our party. I remember the first time I ever drank. It was probably the Beast Ice, and it was Boone's Farms. And mixing those two together all night.
No. Ice beers and basically just
sugar water.
Yeah, pure sugar water.
Yeah.
You can imagine the headache the next day. Like you're like you wish death. You're like, I wish somebody would shoot me in the face right now. I don't want to live. I will say this. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I much prefer Bud Ice over Natural.
Even though they're both made by the same company too. So
yeah, they got the controversial eagle right on there.
Yes.
No.
That's not the new eagle, but
it's not the new eagle.
The new eagle's faced the other way, and he's cocked 45 degrees up high.
And the script is exactly like England.
And it's also gold and not silver.
Once again, I can't believe people are just low-life scumbags that would steal Yingling's logo with no regard. But also, if you want to buy our new logo, it's a complete ripoff of Chetty Boys.
Oh, man.
It's not a ripoff; it is a tribute.
It's an homage.
Yes. If they come after us, like we've spent enough money in the Yingling and Chetty products,
I don't think
they should let us know.
So
Like I say every time.
Yingling, don't
I'm
sue
sure
us.
if our face were to be on an eagle, it would be a different story.
Yeah,
maybe they'll put us on special edition yet Chetty cans.
maybe they'll be like, this podcast is so funny. And
Yeah, let's put them on bottles, and it'd be like the hunt for
the
that
golden
Bush
ticket.
does for the cans, like the camo cans and stuff.
That would literally make my life. If I went to a store and my face is on a legit can of Chetty, I would fucking lose my shit.
Oh God. What do we know about natural ice, Bob?
Natural Ice from Anheuser-Busch, Breeze distilled beer. This one comes in at 5.9% ABV.
The check-ins are amazing.
And then 5 IBUs. Ooh. This has been checked in approximately 23,200 times, where it averages a 1.79. I have 42 friend check-ins, no highlight. It averages a 1.61.
Ooh.
Mine averages a 1.44.
Natural Ice is the best ice beer for your buck. At 5.9% ABV, Natural Ice is sure to jumpstart your night with a signature, refreshing, smooth taste and clean finish only Natural Ice can deliver.
Nailed it.
And the flavor profile is listed as light, smooth, strong, sweet, and warm.
I like how they both have warm.
They both have warm.
I have a
That's from the urine.
I have a
Yeah.
I have a Dom the Beer Bro write up.
Oh, let's hear it.
He says he gives it a 2 and says the Cadillac of brown bag beers.
Oh, man.
I have one too. That it's a two-parter.
Oh.
M. O'Neill says Natty Ice. Going back to my days away at college, but seriously, I will never check this in again. 0.5. That was on December 24th, 2014.
All right.
Fast forward to March 9th, 2019. He checks it in again and gives it a 1.
It's went up.
Yeah.
His beer taste is evolved.
It's evolved.
He obviously
But he also
didn't
said-
remember the first
Yes,
one.
but he also said, I will never check this in again.
I
And then 5 years later, checks it in again.
have one here from Christy Bolton. She says she checked it in. She gives it a 2 and says the new Nickelback album is out.
That might be the best review I've ever heard.
Christy Bolton also checked it in once again and says, "Why am I still drinking this?" Yeah, it's Shane Flail drank it in, and he said parking lot arrival. So that was his parking lot beer. Yeah, if you want to follow us on Untapped, just follow Bangin Beers Podcast Anthony, and I always check and I always tag everyone from the show so you guys can follow us.
99% sure this is one of the ones we used to drink in the Croc Rock parking lot because the Italian restaurant across the street would serve underagers in Allentown.
We're giving everyone too many blueprints here.
Oh man!
All right, well, let's crack one of our other
Yeah,
show
let's
beers
get a
here.
good beer here.
Let's break it up.
But well, we got what? Should we hit some road trip and Rosa real quick while we pull this one out?
Let's actually go to.
that
Do you have any news?
Yeah, you got Billy with the beer. Billy's beer news.
Not necessarily news, but I was on breweries
Yes,
in
correct.
PA, and they brought up a style of beer that they think more breweries are going to start to do this year.
Okay.
It's called NO beer. It's spelled OENO beer. I figured I would bring this up since we were learning about a new style, and it would be semi-appropriate for the episode. So what it basically is it's a beer that's brewed with not only your normal fermentation process, but as long as up to 49% of the other part of fermentation comes from grapes or grape product. So it's like a beer wine
Like a
mix,
hybrid.
but it's not a blend. So it's not like you're blending beer and wine. When you brew it all together, but it's technically
That's very
like
interesting.
as close to being wine as you can be, but still
Wow.
be beer.
Do we have
So,
a brewery that's going to be the first one to put it out?
We do. Technically, Dogfish did.
Oh, with the wine must one.
With mixed media,
Mixed media.
they use
Wow.
49% of the fermentation came
Oh, okay. I didn't
from
realize that. I
grapes-
thought it was just
from
mixed with the
grapes.
wine must.
now. So when they brewed it that way.
Okay.
At the time, they called it a grape ale because I guess they didn't know that this style technically existed.
Oh, nice.
So they think that that's going to take off this year because the rules on it are so loose that like so brewers can just run with it. So they can do whatever they want and call it that style as long as some of the fermentation comes from a grape or a grape product. So like must or whatever.
Interesting.
What do you think of that one, last beer?
By the Hop Slam?
No, what do you think of that process or that style of beer? Do you think would you give it a shot?
Oh yeah, I'd give it a shot. I mean, especially if, Dogfish is the one starting it. But yeah, I'm always down to try new styles. The only style I don't really enjoy is like smoked beers. I just can't get into them. I've tried different like the Rausch beers and all that kind of stuff.
You got to have the right ones, I think. Sometimes.
What were the ones we had? The Oktoberfest or the smoke ones from Germany?
The Martzen from Germany was fantastic.
Regular.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did I bring one of Stoker's on or not?
No, we never had a Stoker smoked beer.
We had the Lebanon Bologna beer from Schitt's Creek.
That was awful.
No, it wasn't. I thought it was good.
I didn't like it.
They changed the recipe. It didn't taste like drinking meat anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd definitely try that style. I mean.
Yeah, mixed media. I had that a few years ago.
Yeah, I think last year or the year before.
I can't remember what kind of
wine
wine was used, like what kind of wine grapes were used for, but it was interesting.
Yeah, I think it was like a drier wine grape.
Yeah, because it had like that
sweet one.
It was almost like a brute type IPA type beer because it had like the dryness of like a Pinot. What?
Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Gris.
Is that the dry?
I don't drink wine. I'm not a wine.
I can't remember which of my dry whites anyway. But it kind of had like that kind of hint to it, but also you could still tell it was beer.
Mellow Mink does when they instead of bourbon barrel aging beer, they age some of their beers in like Chardonnay barrels. So they'll take their beer and then age them in wine barrels, which is like a cool little thing.
Cool for sour like saisons and stuff.
Yeah, that's what they do. They do with their sours.
Hudson Valley, they do a lot of their sours. Sometimes they have they do Chardonnay barrels or like Pinot Gris type sours, that kind of stuff. But
I feel like we might have had one of those on a long time ago.
Brett Square says
Hudson Valley makes great stuff.
Yeah, Dogfish Head did a Scrapple beer a few years ago that was banging.
Yeah, I had that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. That was what, beer for breakfast, I think it was called?
Yeah, beer for breakfast.
I want to try
on that one.
They did just at the brew pub, I think in Rehoboth, they made a stout with lobsters in it. So what they did is when they were brewing it there and you ordered a lobster to eat,
they boil it in the boil.
Yes. Yeah. so if you ate a lobster there that day, it actually came out of the
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do so Dogfish does they haven't done it in a while because of all what's going on, but they do a weekend of compelling ales and whatnot. So it's like a beer and food event, like where they pair like their beer with like a certain type of food and stuff like that. We went there 2016, I think was the year, 2016 or 17, because a bunch of our people in our community locally around here in my area, they're real good friends with Sam from Dogfish Head, and they go every year. But yeah, that was the first year I went, and they'll pair, so they'll do like a worldwide stout, and they'll pair it with like some sort of food item. But yeah, we actually brought beer to a beer event, and we shared. Like, we brought a bunch of Virginia beers and stuff, and we shared beers with Sam, the owner of Dogfish Head.
Oh, nice.
Until security told us to put our beers away. But, yeah, it's a cool event. They do a bunch of, we went to, a little whiskey bar they have. They have, cocktails. Dogfish does cocktails. They do, vodkas and
dude, their liquors are fantastic.
They also don't they have that treehouse, too? They have, a treehouse on their front, at the brewery.
Yeah, it's like a big old, but... Yeah, it was a cool event. You meet a lot of people, and like I said, it was cool to share beers with Sam and just interact with people. And
I've never done an event like that. I got to check out the list.
Sam should have been like, "I am the beer."
Yeah.
The Mac in the chat says, "Cheers, all." He actually has a Star Wars picture.
Oh hell yeah, NAT.
You guys just became best friends. Yeah. Speaking of Star Wars, did you have a little moment? The new episode?
I knew that was gonna happen. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The best Boba Fett episode's a Mandalorian episode. But I still love the Book of Boba Fett. Don't get me wrong.
Is Mandalorian showing up on Boba Fett as cool as Luke at the end of the other one?
I mean, I still have mixed feelings on that. I loved it. I fanboyed out 100%, but I wish they would have used a different Jedi.
Yeah.
Just because, like, unless they're going to recast Luke, and, like, I'm assuming they're going to, like, because they keep talking about Sebastian Stan getting cast as Luke Skywalker because he has a resemblance to Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
But, I'd be fine. Like, just fucking cast him.
Yeah.
Because if there's going to be more Luke Skywalker, awesome. Because then we get to see those middle years.
We're going to do an episode where we're going to get Andy really, really drunk, and he's going to do his whole Star Wars
from front to back.
Yeah, he's just going to cover Star Wars.
Every single episode of the Clone Wars.
I don't know nothing about Star Wars, but I always get excited hearing your excitement about Star Wars.
With our UK friends in the chat, or friends, I think I just one of them in this week. Cheers.
Yeah.
What are your cheapy beers over there across the pond? Like, what do you got?
If you guys are watching,
what's your go-to? Like, I got a few pence in my pocket here, and I gotta go.
Probably King Cobra.
Met him a while ago. Now we can't shake him. I love that dude. Drunken. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, Drunken one. He's part of our like little.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be in a box virtual bar with him. He's cool people, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming and hanging out, buddy.
Dude.
All right, so let's you have the Strawberry Villa pulled up?
Yep.
All right, let's read off Strawberry Villa.
Strawberry Illa from the
Villa, thank you. Sorry.
Full Circle Brewing Company of Fresno, California. It's a milkshake IPA. Comes in at 6.5% ABV. It's been checked in just shy of 2,000 times, where it averages a 3.85. I have 5 friend check-ins where it averages a 3.86. I don't have a highlight. The much anticipated strawberry version of our famous Illa Vanilla Milkshake IPA is back. A light and creamy addition of vanilla and lactose with a little kiss of hop bitterness support the strawberry forward sweetness in this milkshake IPA. Reminiscent of the little strawberry candy wrapped in red and green foil. And the flavor profile is strawberry, creamy, vanilla,
Millie.
yeah, Millie too, yeah, and hoppy and tart.
This was purchased at the Keg Stand in Monte City a little while ago. I'm not sure if they have any more. Probably not. Usually these go pretty quick. I had a vanilla one, a peach one, and now a strawberry one so far from there. They're entertaining. It's a milkshake IPA. It's good. It's not going to blow your socks off, but I think it's a good beer.
Yeah, the highlights on the flavor profile are dead on.
Yeah, I agree. And it doesn't come off as, even though it's a milkshake, it doesn't come off super like you're gonna be in the bathroom later.
No, it's not bad. Like, I am still getting some of the hop character and stuff to it. I honestly thought it was a sour until I took a sip of it.
Yeah,
and the lactose is fairly well balanced. I can tell it's in there, but it gives it more of a vanilla hint to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's that really strawberry and cream is real nice, but you still get a bit of that hop bitterness and like the fruity characters. Or what hops are in it? Did it say?
I don't believe it did say, unless it's on the can somewhere.
No, it doesn't say anything.
All right, well, whatever. Like, there's like the I'm getting some extra fruity notes and like the bitterness from the hops too, because a lot of times like the milkshake IPAs to me like don't really capture IPA sometimes.
Other beer news, I kind of posted in our group chat. Pennsylvania is allowing CBD to be used in beer, as well as selling CBD products at breweries. I know there's a company I believe they're out of Pittsburgh, and they're called it's like a CBD shot you pour into your first beer, and it's supposed to help with like hangovers and stuff like that. I've had one because I used to subscribe to the First Sip Brew Box when I had a job at the time. But yeah, I used to subscribe to the box, and every now and then they would send you a shot of the CBD stuff that you'd put in your beer. There's no THC in it, unfortunately. Hopefully that comes later. But there's just a CBD shot you put in your beer, and it doesn't really ruin the flavor. It doesn't really enhance it. It just kind of puts the CBD in your beer.
I can't remember their name, but I remember reading somewhere in the not too distant past that somewhere in Colorado is a place that actually makes marijuana beer. And that's the only place you can get it.
I want to get that far.
Medical marijuana dispensers.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if I don't want THC in my beer.
No, well, it's not the THC.
No. I'm saying when Bob's saying about an actual marijuana beer, like CBD, fine, yeah, whatever. But I don't know if I want actual.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother
It could
level
be
of.
bad news because
when
it's
I
one and then
smoke
the
and
other.
drink, and I'm just a goddamn zombie. I don't want it already to happen.
Like
Right, it just mellows you out even more.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, I would. Not that I have any experience, because probably the only person that's even listening that's never smoked. But,
Ever.
never,
Never tried it.
never. No
Wow.
interest. But
And you went all around the world and never tried it.
yeah.
That's
But
great.
I would tend to think that if you're digesting it, it would take longer to get into your system.
Yeah,
And-
so
Yeah,
it takes longer, and
it
then it
does,
takes
but then
longer to come
it's like-
out of your system.
it's like edibles. Like,
Yeah.
So if they give you
Yeah.
a brownie, they still make the full size brownie, but tell you to eat a third of it.
Yeah, like a
Just
buddy of
make
mine-
a third size brownie.
when you're smoking that correct me if I'm wrong. Once that's in your lungs, that's like bam, and that's in your bloodstream. But
yeah,
if you
it's
eat
pretty
it or
quick.
drink
Yeah.
it,
and it's a
gotta get
completely
digested.
different situation.
you do edibles, and you're like, oh, I'm good. I can do more. And then
Yeah.
2 hours later, it hits you, and you're like, I'm going to die.
Yeah,
And
it's
then you're
like-
like, wait, I
Yeah.
was supposed to eat a third of this brownie? I'm going to be high for 3 days.
I like
It's okay though, because I made up for it, because I drank probably more than any 3 average people.
I like to call it the wrist shot factor.
The Rish shot factor.
So Rish used to have a problem where we would go out to like the Club 18 or something. We get shots of Tully, and she'd do a shot, and then like 5 minutes later, I don't feel anything, and then do another shot, and I'm like, that's because it's got to work.
Right?
So you'll have someone like, oh, that gummy didn't get it. Let's have some more now.
Now, I've noticed if I smoke first and then drink, I'm generally okay.
I'd be very
But
interested to try the CBD.
if I do the opposite, it's not a good time.
You're
I did,
right,
I
yeah.
did the CBD shot where you just pour the CBD shot in your beer, and I enjoyed the experience. I thought it was really good. It, especially with me with my body pain, it was like, oh, this is nice. Like, it's a nice feeling. Like, because I take CBD regularly. That's just like my go-to. I use CBD as medication. So putting in a little shot in your beer doesn't ruin the flavor, doesn't do anything, but just kind of give you that little euphoria. It was nice. So maybe now that it's kind of allowed to be done in Pennsylvania, I'm excited to see what happens. But we just poured our next ice beer, and this is going to be
this
the
is
Labatt.
round three of the shitty beer shootout.
It's going to be the Labatt Ice.
You know, this actually smells like an okay Pilsner.
Yeah.
It's Labatt though, so it's probably okay.
Labatt Ice from the Labatt Brewing Company, which
There's 2 versions of this.
Yes.
Oh,
there's a maximum ice.
Yes.
too,
Wait,
yeah.
hold on, real quick. I just want to go through this. So we're drinking Labatt Ice. Then there's Labatt Maximum Ice.
It's like 7.9.
then
That
there's
just means it comes from like northern Canada.
yeah. Then there's Blue Ice. Then there's Max Punch. Then there's Max Ice. Then Lakeport Ice. Bush Ice 6.0.
Calgary, Alberta, Canada ice.
Yeah, they just they've made a lot of different versions of ice beers for Labatt. Good for them.
Well, and to be fair, just like if it's going across like northern Canada, it's highly likely it would freeze during shipping.
It was just regular
It's just
Labatt's
like,
until
yeah.
it traversed the northern territories.
I think Drunken is typing in cursive over there.
He's speaking another language. Whatever.
Yeah.
So this comes in at 5.6% ABV, no IBUs listed. It's been checked in approximately 6,200 times, where it averages a 2.53. I have 12 friend check-ins where it averages a 2.79. I don't have a highlight. Labatt Ice, introduced in 1993, was the world's first ice brewed beer and the most successful new brand introduction in Canada in Canadian brewing history. Labatt Ice is a fully fermented beer that is allowed to mature at cold temperatures. Labatt Ice uses selected North American hops to complement its smooth, full flavor. And the flavor profile here is listed as smooth, light, strong, sweet, and heavy.
Not warm?
Yeah, not warm.
This honestly isn't terrible.
No, I can
Like
now.
I like regular Labatt Blue. Like it's a decent go-to. Like grab a random 6 for something because my one buddy Fody, like that's his favorite like regular beer. And so like we'll do band practice. I'll grab like a 6 of Labatt. This honestly doesn't taste that much different.
This is fucking delicious.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I don't mind this at all.
Like it's very clean. I could drink this normally. Like it's fine.
If this is cheap, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Next time I go out.
But what they rack you for the
It's-
6 on it?
I bought too much stuff that
You're not sure?
yeah,
I know that the single man cans we sell for like $1 or something.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure what. Oh, is that the Bumpy Road page?
That's Bumpy Road, yeah. Yeah, check out Bumpy Road.
Yeah, Drunken's good.
yeah.
Drunken's dope. Drunken, can you put in the Craft Beer Pours page too? I forgot to put it in the links below, and I want to give them some love. So put
Yeah, we can
put their
edit it up,
pages.
then.
Yeah. Oh, there it is right there. Last Beer's channel.
That's my last. Yeah.
Yeah, Last Beer's channel's in our links below, but I don't have Craft Beer Pours. Put them some love into that. Thank you, Drunken. Yeah, this is good, man. And if you are watching and you kind of came late, we are doing ice beers, and then we have some show beers in between, and we're hanging out today with Last Beer. What?
I got the ice beer badge.
Oh, you got ice beer. You're like,
That means that's the 5th ice beer I checked in.
you're gonna have to now you're gonna be like, shit, I need more to get the next level. I just put you in a spiral. But we're joined here by Last Beer, who's been a huge supporter and showing us a lot of love here. So thank you for hanging out with us
You
again.
guys rock, yeah.
You've been in the chat so many times with us. So cheers and thank you for the love. And
Cheers, gentlemen.
listen,
Appreciate
Craft Beer Pours, Fueled by Hops. You guys have been helping us so much growing on YouTube. Every other show we have
We got a really nice write-up by Fueled by Hops.
Oh yeah, we did.
yeah, we did.
Sent on the group.
Oh yeah,
chat.
they're one of the top 5.
Yeah, Fueled by Hops did a review, and they said the top 5 beer podcasts to be listening to right now. I should probably pull that up. And
Yeah, but Last Beer, if I happen to, if I'm trying to watch you like for visual cues to not cut you off, because I was just talking about these guys about cutting people off. But like Tony's mic's like right in the way, so if you go to talk and I cut you, just be like, Andy, shut the fuck up.
yeah, tell them shut up.
Oh, you're good.
Just be like Step Brothers. Like, shut your mouth.
I can't wait until your mute switches in. I'll just reach across and hit the button.
I'll just give you the mute switch.
Okay, yeah.
So this is the Fueled by Hops write-up. They said this year we put together a resolution to listen to more beer podcasts. Admittedly, we got away from podcast hobby. However, we think it's time to dust off the headphones and get back into listening to some great content creators. I rounded up some of my favorite beer podcasts for this month and wanted to share them with everyone. So thank you once again to the Fueled by Hops podcast team. Number 1 beer podcast, Craft Beer Mafia. Number 2 is going to be Weekly Recap. Number 3 is going to be the Uncapped podcast. Number 4 is going to be us. Bangin Beers Podcast. Here's the write-up. A weekly beer podcast based out of Pottsville, Pennsylvania. We'll take it. We'll take it. Just skook, you know?
No one knows where Frackville is.
Yeah. We'll put in Frackville.
That's like when people ask where I live, I just say Pottsville because no one knows where Minersville is.
This podcast features host Anthony Blackwell. It's actually, now you are the host. I pass it to you. And enjoying beers from all over, for some of their favorite breweries locally and around the nation. These episodes tend to be a little longer than the average podcast, around 1.5, but the entertainment and humor flow from start to finish. You can listen to Bangin Podcast here. And then number 5 is the Might Be Brews podcast. So we're long and funny, ladies. That's how we
check out,
very thin though.
Booze League. They got a podcast on Spotify. They're on Instagram and stuff like that. Coley and Wiley. They're on the West Coast, but Booze League podcast on Spotify. They do weekly shows. I think they record Tuesdays and kind of upload sporadically throughout the week. So
nice.
Yeah, check them out on Spotify. Booze League or Boozecast is on there. But
we'll have to add that into the links then. Sweet.
Yeah,
that's a sick hat. I'm trying to find somewhere we can get hats, but I'm broke.
I wish hats fit me.
I love hats. I'm a hat guy.
If they're not beanies, my head's shaped stupid or something. They just fucking hats hate me.
Yeah. So this last one we had it good beer.
Honestly, not bad. I would be okay with this one.
I now don't question why people buy like 4 and 5 man cans at a time of it.
No, I don't know if I'd go that far when in the same cooler as Double Broken Heels, but
yeah.
What's the price difference there, Bob?
The Double Broken Heels is it's like a couple cents more.
Really?
Yeah.
Over a Labatt Ice?
Yeah.
Oh,
like Labatt
shit.
Ice is like $1.50 to $1.75 a can. And then the Double Broken is like 2 something for the 19 point.
What ice beer
ounces
goes the most at your place?
As far as man cans, Labatt Ice.
Case wise,
probably Beast Ice, but just because for a 24 pack, including tax, it's $11.
And that's the reason why we don't have it in the lineup today, because I could not find a 6-pack or man can of it, and I was not going to commit to a case.
Because a 6-pack could be like $2.
I mean, I guess so, like I could have bought a case and just threw the rest in the garbage. But
I remember when that Boxer Ice first came out. You could get a 6-pack for $3.50.
We also sell a fair amount of Boxer Ice, but the one guy I know comes in and buys like 3-4 cases at a time, and he says he just drinks. He forces himself to drink that, so when people come over, they don't drink his beer.
It's a good move. Good move.
Nice.
Oh, here it is. The boozeleague.com. There it is. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they got I put their Instagram page and stuff in the chat.
So we'll have another
Check
like
them out.
patent throw all this stuff.
I'm actually going to jump in real quick on our YouTube stream and start making some people admins. The people who are supporting here, we'll give you some admin access. Oh, that's
now you're playing it.
Playing ourselves.
Oh boy,
I'm ruining everything. All right. Sorry about that, everyone. If you're listening in the chat, yeah. So let's get a little bit into what city of hates ice beers.
Yeah, that's where we left off.
So even though several sources said that it was prohibited in several municipalities, the only place I could ever find specifically mentioned was Seattle. And so what they do is when they have high crime areas that typically involve what they term street drunks or frat violence or whatever, they go in, and when they determine that it's because of people drinking cheap beer or whatever, they start the process to declare this area what they call an AIA. I can't remember if that was alcohol incident area or alcohol
idiots.
But it's an AIA. And so what they do is it doesn't affect bars or restaurants, but anyone who's a retailer, like a distributor or a convenience store or a supermarket, they actually have a list of prescribed drinks, and they ask all these people that sell them to voluntarily comply and not sell the items on their list. And like I said, it's voluntary. And I even read an article from the mayor, and he said, yeah, fine, it is voluntary, but if you choose not to comply when your liquor license comes up for renewal, we're just going to tell the LCB that you're a problem. And
so it's one of those government overreach bullshits.
Yeah. Little strong arm mafioso.
So and I actually
the government is the worst of organized crime.
So and I actually was able to find the list of proscribed beverages. I took a screen.
Is it all big? Is it all big brand?
Um,
there's a little bit of a beeping going on over there. Oh,
so
is that us or is that?
I think that's probably me. I got.
I don't know. It sounds like when I don't close my Discord. So the Big Bear, Bull Ice, Bush Ice, Camo Black Ice, Colt 45 Ice. They make a Colt 45 Ice.
Colt 45 Ice. And we have a guy that comes in and will order Camo Ice, but we can't get it right now.
Oh,
he'll order.
Why is there not a Colt 45 Ice at this table? We fucked up.
We did it, and I don't know the last time I saw a Colt 45.
Okay, so
works every time.
Okay.
I
Submission next week's show beer.
Yeah, right.
Colt 45 Ice.
It's got to be a 40 though.
Yeah.
If this is on the list and it's red and has a asterisk next to it, Evil Eye. So if that's you're not allowed to drink Evil Eye. Ham's Ice Brewed Ale, Ham's Brewed Ice Brewed Beer, Hurricane Ice Malt Liquor, Ice House, Johnny Bootlegger. That's those little tiny bottles.
The little flask.
I've never had one, so maybe we'll
So we got Colt 45 back in our old party spot. We used to have a full size poster of the Billy D. Williams. The Colt 45 works every time. It was so good.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on, but you know most. Is Red Dog still a thing?
Yep.
Really? With a bulldog on it?
Yeah, it still exists. I don't know.
My neighbor used to have cases
thing.
and cases and cases of Red Dog underneath, like in our old house that burned down, had like two little entryways, and he would get like cases and sit in the entryway and drink all day, and then and pee in there, so it smelled like Red Dog and pee.
That's horrible.
I just remember seeing all the cans with the bulldog on it, and I'm just like, oh, and then I never ever had that beer.
So it just smelled like Red Dog.
Yeah.
So and then I actually have one more piece of ice beer trivia.
All right,
ready for
let's
that.
do it, Bob.
So the strongest ever made ice beer was a collaboration between a German brewery called Schwarzbrau, who actually had held the previous record before this. They had it was 37 point something percent.
Jesus Christ.
It was I can't remember the name. It was something about nuclear penguins or. But
You'll be seeing them after you drink it.
the new world record, they did a collaboration with BrewDog, and it's
Is it
called
the squirrel one?
it's called Strength in Numbers, and it clocks in at 57.8.
Is that the one that comes in a
ABV.
hollowed out squirrel?
I have no idea. there were no photos.
No, I'm pretty sure. So BrewDog,
Look it up. Strength in Numbers.
yeah, BrewDog. They had like the world record for the highest ABV beer, and it came in like a taxidermy squirrel, like it was a bottle and a squirrel. Strength in Numbers.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up.
Nicole says
totally.
thanks for the Booze League shout out.
Yeah,
Listen,
she's on the Booze League. Yep, check her out.
awesome. Listen, anyone who's in this that's right now, and I gave everyone admin status, like we're always down to collab. This is the first of many having last beer here. So if you ever want to join us on the Sunday, the door's open. We'd love to have you on and talk. We're still not used to the virtual, so I hope we're not like kind of cutting you off or not engaging you enough, but we're trying to, you know what I mean?
You guys are good. Yeah,
We're figuring it out.
All right, so the Strength in Numbers is not the squirrel beer, which means I'm going to find the squirrel beer. But this comes in a pretty sweet, like wax sealed, like flip top bottle. So
Have you anyone in the chat or last beer or anything ever had a beer you had to sign a waiver for?
No.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, the one from we had a beer from Tattered Flag. We had to sign our waiver
oh,
for.
those are the ghost peppers in
It was like a ghost. So when they made this beer, they made it in a huge batch system. Then they made another one with the same amount of pepper, but in a small
I
batch.
think it was 10 gallons.
And they're like, we don't know what's gonna do. So you have to sign this before you take it home.
Yeah, there was a 10-gallon batch, and then they did it in numbered bottles. Yeah.
Yeah, we had one on the show. It was some.
It was really good.
It was really good, but it wasn't as hot as I thought it was gonna be. But I've had beers where I'm like, I need some milk.
Yeah.
Okay, so the beer I'm talking about is a dead squirrel filled 55% alcohol only beer, and it's cost $20,000.
All right, let's get one on the
All
show.
right,
Everyone go
To the Patreon.
right to the Patreon and start to.
We need a $20,000 dead squirrel bill. Dead squirrel beer. Have you ever had any beer you had to sign a waiver for?
No, there's a brewery near me that I don't know if they still do it anymore, but they did a Carolina. I guess they're in the Guinness Book of World Records, or they claim to be, but they did a Carolina Reaper beer, and the challenge is you have to do. I think they give you like a 10-ounce pour of it, and you have to get it down in like 10 minutes or something like that.
You could do it.
And they
Bob
give
had
you,
no problem.
they give you
Okay.
like a T-shirt or something like that or whatever, and that kind of thing. But it's only on site consumption only. They don't put it in crowlers, nothing like that. So you have to, if you get that beer, the Carolina Reaper one.
Ronnie's throwing shade at you over here.
You know, Ronnie S. Yeah, check out Ronnie S. I don't know if he doesn't have a channel, but yeah, that's the only one that I know of that you have to sign a waiver for. But yeah, the Carolina Reaper beer they put like a crap ton of Carolina Reaper peppers in the beer, and you get 10 ounces and I think it's 10 minutes. And if you finish it, you get like your name on the wall and stuff like that. So sounds painful to me. I don't know if
Yeah, I'm not good with hot stuff.
It can honestly go either way, because a lot of the pepper beers I've had haven't honestly really been that spicy.
The one at Brewfest from who was it?
The North.
Well, yeah, that
that
one
stout.
There was a chili
that
stout,
was
I
good.
think.
That was
Yeah.
hot.
It was good though. I liked it.
Right,
But
so-
I was more the mango one
There
off of.
there was a girl.
Free will?
There's
No.
No.
There's a girl I knew, and I was at this part of the day. I was blackout drunk as well as everybody else was in downtown Pottsville. And she comes up to me, she's like, gave me a hug, and I was like, "Good to see you." And she goes, "What's this beer?" I'm like, "This is the North. These guys are great. Try the stout." And she just took it and she drank it, and she drank it, and she looked right at me and just goes, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah, that
I
was
would've-
God Complex.
I would
yeah,
have
God
That one.
complex.
Yep.
been on to you when Tony suggested to try a stout.
Yeah, yeah, I would have been like, all right, he's done for the day.
Just real quick about this. So BrewDog, it was called End of History. It's a 55% ABV beer. It was into the American market to commemorate their new like brewery and like resort in Ohio. So the beer itself did not cost $20,000, but there was only 10 bottles made, and any investor that invested at least $20,000 got a bottle of it.
Okay.
So it was like a special giveaway thing for an investor, but it's still it's literally the bottles inside a fucking stuffed squirrel with a top hat.
That's awesome. All right, so we're getting a little long here, so I want to get these last two ice beers.
All right, yes,
and funny,
long and funny.
Yeah.
If you think Bangin Beers, I want you to think long. We're long and funny.
Yeah.
What are we on next? We got the we did the Labatt Ice. What's the ice
house?
Chad is popping. Julie's hanging out with us.
It's in front of me. Jesus.
Oh, we don't have a. Yeah, so this is Ice House. Ice House.
Ice House.
I remember Ice House bottles for like $11 a case when I worked at Brewers Atlas, which is now the Craft House.
Now these are getting a little they're not as cold as they were before, but they're getting a little warmer.
That's actually kind of a good thing though, because it can kind of
flavor.
give you an idea of what they actually taste like. Because when their whole spiel is you need to drink it cold, what we got going on here?
Yeah, it's because they're trying to hide the awful flavor.
And especially a majority of them are like almost exclusively purchased in man cans.
If I recall, Ice House wasn't terrible.
No, this isn't bad at all.
So Ice House from Miller's Plank Road Brewery. And again, considered a freeze distilled beer, comes in at 5.5 ABVs. This has been checked in approximately 20,800 times, where it averages a 2.08. I have 36 friend check-ins, where it averages a 2.15. America's first domestic ice beer, Ice House is traditionally brewed, fermented, and just before aging, its temperature is lowered to below freezing. This process imparts the beer's smoothness and alcohol content that's slightly higher, 5.5% by volume, than other regular premium beer brands. Ice House was introduced in 1993 and has reinforced its position as the ultimate beer for wind-up and pre-game occasions. Blending humor and high-energy excitement, Ice House marketing encourages its target consumers to take occasions to the next level, unless you live in Seattle, with a great tasting
criminal,
with a great tasting beer. And the flavor profile is back to the norm here: light, smooth, sweet, strong, and warm.
And I have a highlight from the same highlight as our first beer. No, it's off of Trevor. He says, "Pure evil."
Pure evil.
What's his rating?
1.5.
Huh.
I think people are being a little. That's upsetting.
This is honestly not terrible.
It's not.
And this has been sitting on the table for what, about a half hour or more?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't that bad. I mean, I personally wouldn't go out and buy a case of it or anything, but if there was somewhere available for free, I would not be mad about it.
I think we legitimately have like one man can that's been sitting inside the man can cooler at work for like months because like no one is buying it.
I will say this: it's not if you're looking for a cheap night, or you see it and it's cheap, go for it. I don't think there's a bad ice beer on this table so far. Like, there's nothing I wouldn't ever go back to and never drink again.
I don't know about that. Natty Ices.
You would never if that was there.
If it was the absolutely only option, maybe, but like I would not go out of my way.
Have you had beers that were worse?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I've had shows on this table that have been worse than that. You know what I mean? Like, but also this is a style for me that's easy, like the easy light.
Like
beer.
I said, my whole problem is the day after.
That's very true. Yeah. Well, no one tells you to drink 845 of them.
Well, I mean, they're on like you gotta. It's just some of those nights happen, man.
Check your statuses. I gave you guys some wrenches, so you guys have made some more add-ins to the page.
Yeah, check out all these. They all got channels for the most part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everyone,
reviews.
You guys showing us love and support. Please, if anyone else is watching, go support these other channels.
Yeah, if you got your channels, we'll after this we'll go put them, consolidate them into a post and get them out there for you.
Yeah.
We'll put them on this description too. We'll edit it up.
What we do is, because this is live on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch. So anytime that you guys comment, I put your thing up there so people see your YouTube channel, and then they can go over to YouTube and check the live comments and follow everybody. The support once again, it's mind blowing to us. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to us.
Yeah, like each week, like everyone, like our chat's been growing, and we really appreciate it. So,
And the more people comment and chat, the more the algorithm says this is something that we have to put out there because people are engaging. So we really truly appreciate it. And the door's open for anyone to come and hang out with
thanks
us.
for hanging out with us. Last beer. What's your actual name?
Josh.
Josh. Okay, Josh.
Yeah.
I feel weird calling you last beer.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm so used to the wrestling world where some people don't want to go by their shoot names, so I didn't want to put it out there unless.
I mean, unless you want me to call you last beer, then that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, I'm fine with.
All right, cool.
I don't mind my name out there. Yeah.
Like my name is Nighthawk.
You gotta call me
I know,
Nighthawk.
right?
You gotta call me Dragon.
All right, great. Now we all need nicknames that we only go by.
So we're gonna hold off on Puka this week.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Just because I don't want to rush it and then get it out there because we have one more beer to go and we're close to the hour at 11 mark and I want to kind of still give people some time
already.
to talk.
But
Jesus.
I
Yeah, because we still need to do a road trip on Rosa.
and we should bring up about it because of the Washington thing.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get our last one poured here. This is going to be the Molson Ice.
Bob, while we pour this out, do you want to give us a road trip on Rosa quick before the description? You went to Big Bottom yesterday, right?
Yeah. So like we mentioned on the last show, Big Bottom had planned to do a
Big Bottom
40 tap all Pennsylvania beer tap takeover. He was fortunate. He did manage to get all 40 taps with Pennsylvania brews on them. The place was crazy busy. We were there for about 2 hours yesterday.
And this is the place that we had last week. We drank the Mountain Dew beer.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So he has, I think he has 6 taps of his own, and all the others are guest taps. And the half the building is a pizza place, and half the building is a brewery. Fantastic food too. If you ever go down, be sure and make that your lunch stop.
That's Dillsburg, right?
Yeah. So like I said, we were there for about 2 hours. I had 1 full pour, and I did 3 flights. So that was 13 new beers. I made sure everything was new I hadn't had before. He was so pleased with how it turned out that Bob said he wants to he's going to make that an annual event.
Nice.
And he's going to try and do another one in July. They have a big outdoor space there. He's talking about maybe having bands, and he said he learned his lesson though. He's when he tries to set up for the July one, he's going to start hitting people up for beer in May instead of waiting 3 weeks until D-Day.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, because remember when you told us about it, it was like ground zero.
It was a week before.
Yeah.
But that's I only found out the day before. So, but again, like I talked to 5 breweries. Unfortunately, none of the breweries that I talked to were able to do anything. But I offered to all of them. I realize you're a small business. You got like 4 employees. If you're willing to donate a 6th, I'll take it down there.
Yeah.
And again, when he's closer to D-Day, we'll bring this up again. And that's the same thing. If you're a brewery in Schuylkill, Carbon, or Luzerne County, or maybe even farther up the line, and you're listening and you want to participate in something like that, but you just can't afford to take the time or pay someone to take it down for you, get a hold of us. I'll be more than glad. And that's just another excuse to have.
What is the range
trip.
of your road trip, so people know how crazy you go with this sometimes?
We've gone to Connecticut and back in a day, and we've gone as far south as Springfield, Virginia, and back in a day.
Well, it's quicker to go to Connecticut than it is to go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So far out west, and when the weather's nicer this summer, we're going to expand that. But we haven't gone any further west in Pennsylvania than the counties that border the Susquehanna.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're gonna expand that this summer.
Nice.
Well, and we are still down to do our bus trips where we want to fill up a bus and take in places. So if there's people in our reach, man, we'd love to meet halfway and hang out and have some beer experience.
Yeah, we're gonna work on the logistics of that in the coming months.
When we got done at a Big Bottom, and again, please, if you're that's still going on today. If you're local down there, that's not too far away. Stop in, check it out. 40 taps, all Pennsylvania beers, good Italian food. It's worth a stop. When we left there, we went to Haymauer.
Real quick, is their brewery a Spinal Tap reference?
The logo is a tree, so and,
It's gotta be something else.
but he does do goofy stuff like that.
I
with
just
some
think
of
of
the
Big Bottom
names.
by Spinal Tap.
Big Bottom.
Yeah, Big Bottom.
Talk about bum cakes. My girl's
Dude,
got 'em.
song ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Because
All
I'm like,
right.
what, 82?
We had that was an awesome movie, man.
Oh, dude, Spinal Tap is so good.
But so we stopped at Haymauer. I had 2 beers there, a little bit of merch, and actually for anyone who's in the hot sauce clan there, they carry a ton of stuff from Hotheads.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He is definitely still coming back. He just was feeling a little under the weather, and with everything going on, he didn't want to risk anything. So we still have an episode where, once again, you're going to see me cry and eat hot food on a podcast.
And we took a different route back, and on the way back, we stopped at Copper's in Hamburg.
And I'm going to piggyback onto that because I was also at Copper's yesterday and missed Bob by about 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah,
I
'cause
was
me
like
and-
5 minutes away from Coppers yesterday,
Yeah.
and I didn't stop.
I don't even know where Coppers is, so I wasn't in
Hamburg.
the mix.
Do you know
It's in
where
Hamburg.
Windberg Distributing is in Hamburg?
No,
So like
I know where the wrestling event is.
You know what
How-
Arby's,
the
you know what
Fieldhouse.
Arby's is?
Yeah.
It's like
It's like right
it's like
there.
100 yards from Arby's.
Okay.
it's actually in the same building as,
It's,
Windsor Distributing.
Yeah.
It's highly likely when you're in the RV's parking lot and you have a roast beef sandwich, you can throw it and hit
Yeah.
Oh, nice,
Coppers.
So yeah, but me and Fody stopped there on the way down to Reverb last night to see Dark Tranquility in Reading, and everything was awesome.
Yeah, we didn't eat there, but
What did you have, Bob? What beers did you
I
get?
had the rye beer.
That was the first one I got too. It
Same
was
thing, first
awesome.
beer I had, and the second one was one of their IPAs. I think it was called Patterns and Leaves.
Yeah, the New England one. I think so. Yeah, that was really so. Yeah. Well, Bob looks that up real quick. I had their rye beer, was fantastic. I had their American IPA, which I can't remember the name of it. I had their honey blonde ale. I got a beer on a flight, and the honey blonde ale was called Summer, like Midsummer.
Oh boy, have you ever seen that movie?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy,
I mean, it's the Wicker Man, but
it's another.
Yeah, Pattern and Leaves. It was in New England.
Yep. That was really good. And then I had the American IPA was really good, but the rye ale, fantastic. It was so good.
And I thought the bar was kind of neat too.
Yeah.
So the whole bar is probably as wide as this table, and that's fairly substantial. It
Yeah.
turns 2 corners,
Yep.
and they're all perfectly plotted together in rows. They're all pennies encased in polyurethane.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There's probably $500 worth of pennies on that bar.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
the-
what me and Fody were like. I would just lose my absolute shit if I had to put this together.
Well, supposedly at Windsor Distributing, they had a 5-gallon jug out, and they were asking people to donate their pennies and change.
And then use that for the bar.
Yep.
oh,
yeah.
it's awesome. But yeah, the food was absolutely amazing too. They had probably one of the best, if not the best, beer cheeses I've ever had.
Yeah.
So I had a Philly cheesesteak melt and it came with a side of beer cheese for dipping, and also the fries were really good. Fody got the pulled pork, that was also awesome.
Yeah, I was at Pilgrim last night. They had their Button Up Buddies on tap.
Yep.
That was fantastic. And then they had their new collaboration with Dynasty Brewing Company
Yep.
called Sophisticated Simplicity.
Yes, I had that Friday.
That's
But
fucking amazing.
It is good.
Where's Dynasty out of?
Virginia.
I think so. Yeah,
They're out of Virginia.
I'm pretty sure that's what.
Ashburn.
Yeah.
Ashburn.
Ashburn.
Yeah, whatever.
I have that. I actually have a label in my car that I forgot to bring in.
Can I tag back a little bit?
Dude,
more?
you just-
local
Sir.
beer.
8,000 watching and 7 thumbs up. You almost
smash
you,
that like button.
I was gonna say you scared the shit out of me. 8,000 people watching. I almost had a heart attack for a second there.
So, speaking of food at breweries, I can't remember where I saw the post, but apparently BlackRock added Reubens to their menu.
Yeah,
So I'm a big Reuben nut, so I
Hopefully they
put
add more
that back
beers on
on the
their menu.
list.
BlackRock has a new cider on tap from
Sharp Mountain.
Sharp Mountain. Thank you.
Yep.
Welcome. Ice Beers Deep. Sharp Mountain Cidery is now in Blackrock, so you can go support them. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
And I have one more actually. The new brewery in Jim Thorpe. I found out through the grapevine that apparently, like during the week, they are doing takeout only beers.
Okay.
They'll do growler fills, and a friend of mine texted me while he was there last night, and he said that he had 4 drafts in the building. So I don't know if that means they're They're just doing it on weekends, or it was close to closing time, or whatever. I'll have to, but it's next weekend. I think.
What's the name of that one again?
Was it Shining Path? Bright Path.
And that's across the river, right?
So it's on the east side of town. If you're going
historic,
if you're going up the, you're right, it's not in the historic.
Yeah, it's across.
If you're going up the hill like you're going to Penn's Peak, it's one of the last buildings on the left side before you get to the Jim Thorpe Monument.
So when historic side shuts down, that's our spot after. That's the new move.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah. So once they shut down at like 3:00 at the historic side,
except for like the bars,
yeah,
they're still open. Though.
Then we go to the brewery.
No, I'm in to check that out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
After we get done doing stuff in the haunted hotel and the haunted jail, we will get smushed.
All right, so let's go back on track here. Our last ice beer is Molson Ice.
Did we not read this?
No.
We're falling apart here.
No, well, we had to, we hit up. No, we
ice beers got to you.
We're not falling apart. We hit Road Trip on Rosa.
Yeah.
All righty. Molson Ice
segment,
from Molson Quarters, Canada. Again, freeze distilled beer, 5.6% ABV. This has been checked in almost 9,000 times. It averages a 2.6. I have 21 friend check-ins where it averages a 2.8, and again, there's no highlight. You got a highlight, Bill?
I was looking through and I couldn't find one. All I found was said gross, but I don't agree.
I don't agree either. I wouldn't, if I was out somewhere and like, hey, this is what we have to drink, I'm like, all right, cool, I'm all right with it.
I've had way worse beers.
Molson Ice is an award-winning brew, slowly fermented with Molson's prized lager yeast, and is then ice filtered just before being bottled. And its flavor profile is light, smooth, sweet, full, and strong.
So they're saying now that they ice filter it before it's bottled. So are they brewing it normally and then running it through extremely cold temperatures as it's
right? So it's brewed normal, and then once it's beer, they subject it to freezing, and they let ice for.
Well, I'm wondering if they found a different process so they can
it might actually, before it goes into the bot, they might ice it and then send it through a filter.
They Canadize it,
so it actually pulls the ice out that way instead of them actually like
waiting and
like hand removing the ice.
But no, because if they did it that way, it would still be 12 to 15%.
Yeah,
there's a process in there where they
dilute it,
physically add water back,
to
bring the ABV down.
All that shit is fucking done by computers and stuff, anyways. Like,
yeah.
I've been watching Bar Rescue.
Yeah, Bar Rescue. I love that shit.
I used to love it.
I actually was working on a spec script for It's Always Sunny where
they come to Patty's.
Yes. Yeah, where they come.
Dude, that would be so good.
To come there to do a bar rescue, and he actually finds out that like the hardest worker and the best worker is Charlie, and then everyone else just loses their fucking minds.
But he is.
Yeah.
Just for Charlie work.
But yeah, I just love how he just completely tears apart a brewery. He's like, people are working there. He's like, this place is fucking dumb.
Well, I mean, they usually are.
Yeah. But how do you
why did you not clean your grease traps in 6 years?
I feel like they'd like,
oh.
Yeah.
Well, like
camera crews coming, you're like, let's clean up a little.
There's like a small part of me that wants to buy like a shitty bar that's for sale and just like really be
John
shitty
Tapper,
on
come
purpose.
save me.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like, come save me. And I'm doing an awful job.
And then get in his face like, oh, fuck. I'll kill you, John Tapper.
I know what I'm doing. I just wanted to be on TV so I could get business.
I used to love this show, but as it got more popular, I felt like turned into more. It's like half the fucking episode just an ad for whatever.
Yeah,
but yeah, for his other companies.
Yeah, like his POS is an app. Because I gave you free access to my app forever.
To my application forever.
But no,
and I own like half of this bar now.
Yeah. The only thing that I seen, he went to a place that was called a brewery and it wasn't. And then he put these tanks in that literally you walk up and you put like the ingredients in and hit a button and it does all the work for you. And then they just brew and it literally sends it like from the tank to the tap system for everybody. Like it's just like
I imagine that's got to be tricky though. Like I've seen little kits where you can do stuff like that where it makes like a gallon or less at a time.
Well, no, these are huge tanks.
That's
it's all computer animated. It does all the mixing, the timing, the everything, and you just hit a button and walk away, and then you come back an hour later. There's a beer made.
I can't imagine that it doesn't always work out right with no.
Well, this place didn't even know how to pour beer, so this is I don't know how they're going to figure out how to use that system.
Even when that's the people are constantly testing and tasting and making and
they gave this guy these automated brewing systems to make his own beer, and this fucking dude in the episode, I mean, this is all scripted probably, but he didn't buy nitrous for his tap system. So then they had their stress test. 13 minutes into the stress test, he had no nitrous, so they couldn't do any tap beer. It was 100 tap system, and they had 12 taps going.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was bad.
All right, so Josh, what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say for the Molson Ice, I do actually have one highlight.
We got a good highlight,
and it is Tony Deppen.
Oh,
and he says, "It was a bet, I swear."
Tony Deppen, one of the owners of Pilgaroo, also a professional wrestler. Tony Deppen, good guy.
So Josh, we're getting now down to where we're gonna pick our beer of the night. So listening to what we've been fucking spewing the past like hour and a half, what do you think that we're going to choose out of these?
Well, which ones have you had out of this?
Yeah, have you had any of these? Besides, which ones have you had of these?
I've had Ice House. I've had the Keystone. I've had Natty Ice. I've never had the Labatt or the Molson.
I think the Labatt and the Molson is definitely.
What do you think we're going to go
picks.
with? What do you think will be our unanimous vote based on what you've heard?
I think Labatt. I think Labatt's going to be the one.
All right. So with that said,
Bob, what's your pick?
Labatt.
Oh.
Labatt. Yeah, I agree.
Labatt.
Yeah, Labatt wins.
Yeah, Labatt wins.
Josh nailed it.
Way to go, man. So, all right, what's our number 2 then?
I'd go Molson.
Molson.
Yeah, I agree, Molson.
Concur.
All right, what do we got number 3?
Bill, your pick for 3.
3. I'm gonna go Bud Ice. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going Ice House.
I'm going Ice House as well. It's up to you, Bob. Make or break. Oh, he's looking through his numbers. My numbers are fake. I give everything almost a 4. All right. So
all right, there
beer
it
of the
is.
night is going to be the Labatt Ice, followed by Molson Ice, followed by Ice House. So we went heavy Canada here. So
Yeah.
Canada, show us some love. All right.
Hey.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
And then also our show beer was the Chetty,
And
obviously.
the illness.
Unfortunately, if you're not in School County,
that's the Warwick we got.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you're not in School County, you're not going to be able to enjoy Chetty. But send us a message. Maybe we'll show you some love.
It gets a little bit outside the
A
county.
little bit, yeah.
But rare.
And then the other
But
one
yeah,
is
if
Full
you're
Circle
listening
Brewing.
and you want to try Chetty, we'll figure out a way.
We'll send you a Chetty and some stickers. We'll put our stickers over top of the Chetty.
There you go.
The only other thing I want to bring up is that Thursday at the Washington Hotel in Minersville, they did a tap
Yes.
takeover for Rusty Rail.
Yeah, we got a
which,
cool announcement coming out soon.
Do you want to do it now?
Nah, not yet. I think we'll wait.
So
that's
tease.
super exciting.
The
We're
other
gonna
one that
tease.
we had for the show beer, they had it on tap there. They literally kegged it the day before.
Yeah.
It went from Rusty Rail to the beer distributor to the Washington Hotel.
Nice. And that's
So-
the Puka?
Yes.
Yep.
So you can't get it any fresher than that. Actually, when we were there, Andy was there earlier, and then I went there at end of night. It wasn't even in on Untapped yet,
Yeah.
so we couldn't even check it. So
Well, you had to create
it's
it.
it's supposed to be hitting the market, I think, this week.
Yeah.
It'll be out at the local at your distributors.
But yeah, I
should be this week.
really want to thank Scott from Rusty Rail for
Yep.
hanging out and Matt for Durdak.
Yep.
Durdak
And
distributing.
the lady who's running the
yeah,
Washington
and Tesha from Washington
She's been
Hotel.
following us on all social media and really showing us some love.
She literally, like Brandon messaged me, she's like, call Tesha at the bar. And I'm like, what? So she's like, yo, you got to come out.
Yeah.
She literally hunted me down to like talk. So
And I appreciate it because I record on Thursday night, so it's impossible for me to get away.
And it was like I wanted to get out longer. I had band practice that night, but I'm like, I got to make some time to get there.
It's awesome.
Well,
Got there after work.
Andy went, and then I showed up probably. I think I popped in at like 7, and stayed from like 7 till like 9:30.
Well, that's the advantage of having a 4-man team. We can all at least make an appearance and get out there and make ourselves
Yeah,
seen
really
at
thank
different events.
you, Tesha and Brandon, for letting us know about that. And it was a lot of fun. And we have a cool announcement coming out soon regarding Rusty Rail. So
Possible.
we're gonna let you,
hint.
we're gonna let you stew on that. But we got something really cool in the works that we're going to do with them.
Let's just say it involves them in a very large number.
Yes,
a very, very large number.
So keep an eye out for that.
It doesn't make sense that we're even invited to this.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, which by the way, Scott was.
I mean, I'm happy for it, but it's an honor.
So also Scott Scott from Rusty Rails tell me they also have a wrestling event that they do there.
Yep.
So
I'm into that.
Speaking of wrestling and beer, does anybody know if they still do the midget wrestling at the cigar place in Hamburg?
I don't know.
I feel like they were supposed to come to Goodfellas not that long ago.
I actually know a guy who's part of that circuit. He's like in it with them. I mean, I don't know if that's. I think they still call it that, but some people
They shouldn't call it that.
Yeah, that's kind of like a weird term.
I think those guys really lean into it though.
Yeah, I think they do. The wrestlers, they do, because it's wrestling. That's the whole point. Is kind of like be edgy. But I know a guy who's part of that circuit, and he does really, really well, and he's all over the country. But I don't think they do it at Cigar anymore. But we could probably get them booked somewhere.
Yeah,
it'd be awesome. Show them some love. Josh, what do you want to plug? What do you want to get out there, bud?
Last beer, my YouTube channel, Philly Crooker 87. Check out everyone in the chat that came. They're kind of in our kind of community. Bumpy Road Brewery. He does a lot of stuff. Miscellaneous brew reviews. Drunken One, Jules, Ronnie S, Boozecast, all that kind of stuff.
And of course, Craft Beer Pours.
Craft Beer Pours
put us all together.
Big supporter. Yeah, that's the one that kind of started everybody. Beer Man is another one. He's got a YouTube channel. Check him out. He's on
Alex
West Coast. Alex the Beer Master. He does Food Fridays every Friday. Kind of pairs
Here's the only problem. I don't know how to get in touch with you guys other than YouTube. So like, I don't know, like besides, I don't know how to send, I'm terrible at YouTube. So I don't know how to like reach out to any of you to send you messages or talk to you or anything. So if any of you are on any other form of social media, whether it be Instagram or Facebook or that community page, please add us there. Because that's where I'm better at communicating. I really want to touch base with more of you and really show my gratitude for you showing love and support. I'm still new to the YouTube side because we're on so many different platforms, whether it be just we're literally making content and just throwing it into a wide web and seeing who what gets grabbed. But seriously, thank you all so much for the love and support.
Really
it means
appreciate
so much
it, guys. Like we're working on our format. We're working on a kind of keeping that kind of style going up. And, you know, I think it's been improving a little bit more each week. And now, you know, we really appreciate you guys hanging out. We're going to we'll set up a separate post and we'll edit this link, throw all you guys in there. So if anyone stumbles upon this, you know, it'll get linked to you guys, and really appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yeah. It truly means the world because we're going on our 4th year. And I think a lot of people who are content creators think if it doesn't catch on within the first couple weeks or months, you just give up. And like, I'm not saying if you're a fan of the guy or not, because I know he's a little bit, depending on what your side of the spectrum you're on, if you hate him or love him, I can care less either way. I really don't listen to his show. But Joe Rogan's famous, and no one started listening to his podcast till almost 1,000 episodes in. So you know what I mean? So like the grind is real. You just got to do it. It's probably going to take 5, 6, 7, 10 years.
Well, even if you go look at a lot of the bigger YouTubers, I follow a lot of like guitar YouTubers that have like, you know, between 500,000 and 1 million subscribers. You go watch their old videos, like it took them several years to get there.
We're here for the long haul, you know what I mean? And the fact that you guys are showing us support here, and then we have local people on our end who are showing us support, like local businesses, like the last episode we did with North Country at Little Brown Barrel. Like we have some of that stuff coming where we film it secondary and then we put it out like it won't be live, so we can't really enjoy the chat as much as we normally would.
I mean, the only way to enjoy the chat is if we all just like log in and watch ourselves.
I actually did
to rewatch.
Did you watch from YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube.
Yeah.
So I logged in from YouTube, and there was one other dude in the chat we had like 2 exchanges, and then it stopped. So I stopped.
It's a lot easier when you're live and you can physically engage.
Yeah.
But
I actually got called out on that. I was listening to myself while I was like, I was on the couch. I had something on TV that I was watching, but also I was watching on my phone.
Yeah.
Like to hang out in the chat.
I edit your peas out.
I hate you for doing that.
They weren't very loud peas. I couldn't even use them for.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't a urinal and not a toilet.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any kind of like.
You need next time use a toilet.
Splashback.
Yeah, we need that noise.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Bill got up
next episode.
Real quick, Bill got up with we have wireless mics that we use when we're on location, so it's not much on the table. And Bill got up, and I didn't notice it. And then as he got up the second time it went, I brought it up on the table. I was like, I wonder if Bill knows that like all that's recorded.
No, I was very conscious of it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to pee quietly, and I'm going to bear
that porcelain.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hit the edge of the toilet and not make a bunch of noise, and then I'm gonna like lightly turn the water on and wash my hands and not make a bunch of noise.
The only thing I really heard was a door opening and closing.
Yeah.
And then when you almost ran into the owner, and he's like, "You scared the shit out of me." I had to edit all that out.
No, I'll leave that in.
It just didn't make sense. It's like, where did I come from?
Yeah, that's why you leave it in.
Yeah.
It's the magic.
Julie, thank you so much once again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Julie.
Get
And Drunk Horse.
get their
Yeah,
info.
so we
Josh.
do.
Those
I
are
don't know if you
Drunk
guys
Horse.
have Google Hangouts is a big thing that we.
I mean, we don't, but I
thought
will.
they got rid of Google Hangouts.
I'll download it right now
Google
if that's what it
Hangouts
takes to
is,
talk to you all.
Yeah, we can add.
I
you
use
to the group,
Telegram.
our little group thing. You can get.
Yeah, we'll hang out.
Yeah.
So I kind of learned a little. I don't want to like give away their trade secrets here, but they do a system that we use here, and they don't even go live all the time. Like they go live, but then they also just kind of use this as a platform to hang out with one another.
Yeah.
And it's super dope. Like I love what this community is about.
I
All
honestly-
super cool people.
I honestly thought they got rid of Google Hangouts because I used to have some with some like
Yeah.
gaming friends.
Yeah,
So
we
they got
still
rid of
got it,
Google
yeah.
Plus or whatever, but I thought
Mhm.
Hangouts went with it.
Yeah.
But,
Google Hangouts.
Sweet. All right, yeah, we'll have to check that out. What do you got, Bob, this week?
For a plug.
Yeah.
your t-shirt and your plug.
Yeah, again, it's still not too late to go if you're down there in Dillsburg or surrounding areas. The 40 Tap All Pennsylvania Tap Takeover is still in progress.
If you're hearing this now, you have several hours to be there.
This will be my show photo with the official T-shirt of the event. There's all the
Pennsylvania World Tour.
all the participating breweries are listed on the back, and maybe a dozen or so of them. It's the logo.
That's
instead of
sweet.
just
It's like
the
a
name.
tour shirt from a band.
I love it.
So
Let me see. We good? I got a weird like static noise in the back, and then it went away. I'm
Yeah.
freaked out.
Can
I
you
hope
still hear us?
Can you still hear us, man?
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are.
Okay,
you
cool.
go.
Yeah, some got really quiet, really weird.
Scared the shit out of me.
It's been happening off
Yeah.
and on the whole time.
Let me see the
If
back of
the
your
ice-
hoodie real quick. I haven't seen the new Teespring.
I
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
good.
nice.
I got the Teespring shirt in. It's a lot darker
Nice.
green. I think it resembles what it should be more on Teespring. So we have Teespring, TeePublic, and Redbubble, and we have 3 different merch pages in our link, so you can use any of them. The TeePublic, we really don't get anything from it at all. You bought like 8 things from it. I think we got like $2, and it's cheaper to buy it from Teespring, and we get more of a cut. So it's weird how it all works out.
I
but
ordered this off of Teespring. I ordered this.
the zip ups are nice.
I ordered the zip up because I may have realized recently that I'm pretty vain and don't mind wearing a picture of myself on myself. but at least it's on the back, so you don't have to look at my face twice.
Yeah, that's fine. I already wore mine out with me on it in public.
Yeah, I wore Bill's out. I didn't
Yours
wear
is
my
like the
face.
best one though, Bob. I
Yeah.
would too.
Well, you guys have distinct features that like, so your art really, really stands out because you guys have your feet. Like we're just kind of like, I'm just like a fat bearded guy who would, my stupid smile definitely gives me away, but Eddie's just like a
I look like a snob, like smug asshole on mine.
I actually like yours
I
as
really
well.
want to know what pictures you use for reference because I look like a smug dickhead.
I love
All
it,
of
though.
them.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, so that the merch page is there. Andy.
Working on some new music, but the biggest thing is next week's episode, we're going to be doing a Trogs variant episode. So the timeline got altered somewhere and now things are changing. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have next week we'll be doing Nugget Nectar versus Double Nugget Nectar, Blizzard Hop for Double
Double
Blizzard Hop,
Perpetual versus
darkness.
Perpetual Darkness and Troganator versus Coconator.
and then we're also going to throw in the collaboration from Warwick Farms.
Yep.
Yes.
I still have that stuff from the brewery in Maryland too. I'd like to try and get that in the rotation.
Let's do
Cool.
somewhere
We'll do it the week after.
Yeah.
before-
And then
before
we're
Thanksgiving
also,
Day.
I finally almost have everything ready to go. We're going to be doing our beer brewing episode.
Yeah. Also, if you're listening to the intro and outro, that is Andy's band, Faith in Exile. So go and follow those guys. They
We
do
need
really
to-
good.
Give you a new song.
It'll be a new song soon. So our intro music is changing. The only thing I got to plug is the IWEP Network. So IWEPnetwork.com. We are live here every Sunday. It's usually
12-ish.
12-ish, sometimes later if we had a
Between
really rough
12 and
Saturday.
2.
I think
Yeah.
next Saturday we'll have to
Next
do
Saturday will be
later.
a little later because Billy has to work. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be after 4 or around 4
around
next,
4
next
should be good.
Sunday. every Friday night. Well, Friday nights usually are if we have something to air, we do it. Interviews with everyday people is sporadic. I try to do it either Monday or Friday. Every Thursday, if you're into professional wrestling, you can check out Tornado Tag Podcast. And then every Tuesday, it switches bi-weekly. So we have Not Cool in High School podcast, which is this Tuesday, and we're talking our favorite movies. So if you want to join the chat and talk movies with us, it's a good time. And then the following Tuesday is going to be Truth Behind Illusion, which is like ghosts, conspiracies, cryptids. The last one we did was all ghost stories. I don't remember too much. No, we did cursed movie sets.
Yes.
So we talked like The Crow. We talked Wizard of Oz.
Poltergeist.
That was the one that I was going to drive up and hop in because there was an open seat. And I'm like, by the time I get ready and drive up there, they'll be done. And then he went for like 2 hours. And I'm like,
on Tuesdays we go a little longer because that if you're just listening to that show, you have to wait another 2 weeks for it. So I don't mind going over like an hour and 45, 2 hour mark. But thank you guys so much.
One more thing. They announced the date for Schuylkill County Brewfest. I don't think tickets are on sale yet.
No, not yet.
But it's July 30th.
Yes, and we will be there.
Once we will all be there. Once the tickets are on sale, one of us or multiples will post the link for the tickets for sale.
Yes,
so you can come and hang out with us for the day.
If any of you buy tickets, dude, there's hotels all over the place in our area. If you want to grab a hotel and come to Schuylkill County Brewfest for the day and hang out with us, we will. That'd be awesome. If we can have our listeners come and hang out.
I shut down Center Street in Pottsville, and it's fucking awesome.
Could last year, how many breweries were there?
There's a lot. But we'll even make a weekend. If you seriously are going to come out of your way to come up to this way to come to Schuylkill County Brewfest and want to make a weekend out of it, we'll hang out with you Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, we'll work it.
I know we can maybe even have enough time to work on getting a bus and run to like Harrisburg area. Far enough. We can hit Trogs, Wolf.
We'll get our bus going. And we'll get everybody in the bus, and we'll take you to a bunch of breweries in this area, and we can all hang out. That'd be super dope. So keep an eye on the Schuylkill County Brewfest if you guys want to come up and hang out. I know in the summertime we have a lot of locations we want to go to. Pittsburgh's on our list, Philly's on our list, Virginia's on our list. So we have a lot of places we want to go, and we want to meet you guys. You guys have shown us so much love in such a short amount of time, and we want to make sure we're going to keep this train going. Anything in closing, Josh?
No. I think just thanks for the bringing me up here. You guys rock. Bangin Beers. Just love the craft beer community, and we're trying to get you our little group kind of thing. So maybe off air we can kind of discuss some things and get you into our little hangout group kind of thing, and we can go from there. So check everyone out.
Yeah, I downloaded Google Hangouts now. So so once we go off the air here, don't jump out of the chat, and then you're a veteran with StreamYard. You know what's going on. But thank you guys so much. Bangin Beers Podcast. Episode 149. We're almost at 150.
150 is gonna be the Trogs.
150 is gonna be the Trogs boy.
That's so we're creeping up on 200, man. That's nuts. Thank you guys so much. Here's some Faith in Exile. So you see this handsome guy here? You're about to hear him shred a fucking guitar. Are you ready for this? Check it out.